She and her sister will never escape a horrible fate. For I think her sister had a hand in the planning of this burial as well. Because summon her, for I see her raving about inside there like one who's just lost her mind. When someone is concocting a villainous scheme, their mind will often betray the act before it's done. And I hate it too when a criminal who's been caught tries to glorify their crime.
What more do you want than my death?
Nothing. Once I have that, I have everything.
Why then do you delay? Nothing you say pleases me, and I hope it never does, and nothing I do pleases you. What greater glory could I have gained than by placing my own brother in his grave? Everyone here is glad for it, but they're silenced by fear. But tyranny has many blessings. In particular, it can do and say whatever it likes.
You're the only one in Thebes who sees it this way.
They all see it, but they hold their tongues for you.
Wouldn't you be ashamed if they disagreed with you?
There is no shame in respecting one's own flesh and blood.
Didn't he die fighting his own flesh and blood?
A brother from the same mother and the same father.
Then
yes.
how can you heap praises on one so godless?
The dead man would not agree with you.
If you honor him with equal fervor, you disgrace Eteocles.
It was his brother, not some slave who perished.
One ravaged this land and the other died defending it.
Nevertheless, Hades demands these rights.
But this man, good for nothing but evil, lacks equal honor.
Who knows what the gods consider holy?
Your enemy is never your friend, even when he is dead.
I was born to join in love, not in hate.
Why don't you love them when you're down there yourself, then, if you must love them? As long as I live, no woman shall rule me.
Behold, is Mene before the palace gates, letting her brother-loving tears flow. A cloud over her brow disfigures her countenance, red as blood, drenching her fair cheek.
You sitting, lurking in my palace like a viper, sucking my blood dry while you went unnoticed. Did I miss some sign? Some sign when I raised you two leeches that you would become rebels to the throne? Come on, say it. You'll say you had a hand in this burial, too. Or will you deny it?
I did the deed. If she'll agree, I'll take the blame.
But justice will not allow it, since you refused to help, and I did not consult with you.
I'm not ashamed to sail alongside you through your ocean of perils.
Hades and the dead below know whose deed this is. A friend in words alone is no friend of mine.
At least, sister, do not strip me of the honor of dying and cleansing the dead with you.
Don't die for my sake. And don't claim something you never even tried to do. My death will suffice.
And what would my life be without you?
Ask Creon. Your concern clearly lies with him.
Why are you mocking me like this? It's not helpful at all.
If I'm mocking you, it's my loss.
But still, even now, what can I do to help you?
Save yourself. I will not resent your escape.
Oh, misery. Will I not share in your fate?
You chose to live. I chose to die.
But not without hearing what I had to say.
Some people took your side, some people took mine.
But we both have equal guilt.
Be strong. You are still living, or as I died long ago, so that I might serve the dead.
So far, I gather that one of you has just gone mad and the other one has been mad from the start?
Yes, my lord. The sanity we're born with doesn't stay when things go badly. It wanders off.
Certainly it does. For you, at least, when you choose to do such evil things with evil people.
What kind of life could I live without her, alone, separated?
Don't speak of her, she's yours no more.
You're really going to kill your own son's bride?
Oh, he can plow other fields.
No one is as well matched to him as she is.
I hate it when sons take hard wives.
Haman, dear, how your father insults you.
I have had enough of you and of that marriage.
Will you really deprive your son of his own wife?
I won't have to. Hades will end this marriage for me.
It is decided then. She is to die.
Yes, it's settled. Settled for both of us, so there's no point in arguing about it any further. Take them away. From now on, you are not to take your eyes off either of these women, for even the bravest men, I tell you, still flee when they see Hades standing so soon beside them.
Blessed is the life of he who has never tasted evil. For those whose abode is shaken by the gods, no ruin is absent, as it proceeds through the multitude of peoples. Just as when a swelling, urged by stormy Thracian sea winds, churns up the dark sand from the seafloor, the wave-beaten coast roars and groans. The ancient miseries of the house of Labdacus, I see, fall on top of the miseries of the dead. One generation cannot set a people free, since some god will throw them down with no release. For the bloody dust of the gods of hell, and folly and frenzy of thought, now cut down that ray of light which has shown itself over the furthest roots of the house of Oedipus.
The transgression of your power.
No one can take it away. No one can take it away. No one can take it away. Nor even unweary months of divine labor, as Lord for never-ending time, you hold fast Olympus for good marbled glory, both then and now. Does this noble throne, nothing grand comes to our mortal's life without ruin. Behold that much wandering hope.
To many a benefit, as much as to others a trick of thoughtless lust. Its victim is unknowing before crying out from a foot blazing with fire. With wisdom was the old saying once revealed. Evil can sometimes seem good to the one whose mind the gods are leading to ruin. Yet free from ruin he goes about for the shortest time. Behold, it's Haman, the youngest of your children. Does he come to mourn the fate of his bride Antigone? To grieve that he was cheated out of his marriage bed?
Shall soon see more clearly than prophets. Child, can it be that you come raving to your father about your bride-to-be? Did you not hear that the last vote was cast? Or am I ever yours, your ally, through thick and thin?
Father, I am yours. And you know me well. You set me on the right path, and I am following it. I would not prioritize any marriage over the wise guidance you give me.
Good. Because this is how I have to handle the situation, and you must respect your father's judgment always. This is the very reason that parents pray for their children to be obedient, so they'll go blow to blow with their enemies and still honor their loved ones, just as their fathers would. Someone who raises hopeless children, what can you say they've done but make more trouble for themselves and given their enemies an excuse to mock them? Now, my son, you must never lose your head over the pleasure of a woman. You'll watch this once beloved grow cold to you, a wretched woman in your bed and in your home. What could carve a deeper wound than a false friend? Dismiss this girl as if she were an enemy, so she can be married off to someone else in the house of Hades. I call her openly disobeying my law, alone among the whole city. I will not have it said that in my city lies are confused with laws. I will kill her. Let her sing a prayer to Zeus, who looks after families. But if I let my own relatives walk all over me, then soon everyone will follow suit. Who would trust a man to run a city that can't keep his own house in order? Anyone who breaks or cheapens the law, or thinks they can dictate their own laws to authority, that person will never win praise from me. Everyone must obey the city's chosen leader in matters big and small, and just or unjust. I'm confident that the man who governs himself well can govern a city well too. You trust a soldier who stays at his post while a hailstorm of spears rains down by him, a true and faithful man. no greater crime than disobedience. It topples cities. It drives families from their homes. It puts soldiers to flight. When things are in good order, obedience to authority saves many lives. We must protect the order of things in society, and so we can't allow ourselves to be seduced by women. It's better to be deposed by a man, if it must be so, than rightly be called weaker than a woman.
Unless old age is playing tricks on us, you seem to be speaking wisely.
Father, the gods endow mankind with reason, supreme among all other traits man can hope to possess. I couldn't say, nor would I want to say, that you are handling this situation incorrectly. But there may be something profitable in a difference of opinions. Now, as your son, I'm obliged to look out for you every time a man speaks or acts or points his finger at you. For your eye is frightful to the common man. When he knows he must tell you something you won't be pleased to hear. But I listen under cover of darkness, and I hear how the city mourns for this young girl, saying that she deserves least of all to die so disgracefully for her good deeds. All because she wouldn't allow her own brother, lying unburied in the gore where he fell, to be torn to pieces by flesh-eating dogs and birds of prey. Doesn't she deserve a share of the gilded honor? Dim whispers to this point circulate in the otherwise silent city. I can think of no treasure more precious, Father, than your success. What greater honor can there be for a child than the fame of a prospering father? Or for a father, the fame of his child? Now, don't reserve just this one way of thinking for yourself, saying that this is correct and nothing else. For the one who believes he thinks without equal, or has a tongue or soul like no other, shows only how empty his head really is. But even if a man is wise, there's no shame in him straying from the path and picking things up as he goes. Look how one tree on the riverbank yields its smaller branches to the stream gorged with fresh snowmelt and saves itself, while another that's too rigid is washed away, roots and all. Likewise, the captain who's tied his sails ship so tight that it cannot yield to the wind will have to sail the rest of the way with oars once his mast is snapped in half. So yield and let your wrath subside. If I'm allowed to have an opinion, though I'm just a young man, I think it would be best by far if every man was born full of wisdom and knowledge. But if this is impossible, and normally doesn't happen this way, it is still good to learn from a thought well spoken.
Are we so rattled with age that young men must do the teaching now?
That's not right at all. Even if I am young, it's best to judge by my actions, not just by my age.
And is there any use in honoring rebels?
I wouldn't tell someone else to honor rebels.
Has she not come down with that very affliction?
All of thieves disagrees with you.
Will the city now tell me how to rule?
Can't you see how childishly you spoke?
Must I rule by one man's opinions?
It's not a city if it belongs to one man.
Isn't the city ruled by the man in charge?
And I'm sure you'd rule very nicely in a wasteland.
It seems that this one has taken sides with the woman.
Yeah, if you're a woman, I'm actually trying to help you.
Ungrateful child, putting your father on trial?
Only because I can see that you're making a mistake.
Is it a mistake to respect my authority?
No, but you can't worship yourself while you walk all over the gods.
Deluded creature, whipped by a woman.
You would never find emotions clouding my judgment.
And yet every word you say is in her defense.
And yours, and mine, and the gods below.
You will never marry that girl while she is alive.
Then she will die. And in death kill another.
You would dare to make so bold a threat?
What threat is there in discussing your foolish plans?
You whine while you talk, since you lack wisdom.
If you weren't my father, I'd say you were out of your mind.
Oh, don't flatter me. You're a slave to that woman.
So you want to do all of the talking and none of the listening?
Oh, really? It is clear that you're very happy to abuse me with insults. Bring this wretched creature before his eyes at once, so she may die while her bridegroom stands idly by.
No. Don't hold your breath on that. She will not die beside me. And you will never look upon this face again with your 2 eyes, as you rant and rave to whatever friends will let you.
At his age, the mind grows resentful when it feels pain.
Let him go. Let him concoct some superhuman plan. He will not save these 2 girls from their fate.
Do you intend to kill them both?
You have a point. Not the one who kept her hands clean.
And how do you plan to kill the other?
I will lead her down a deserted road and seal her in a rocky cave there, bringing only as much food as is necessary to clear the city of the charge of murder. At some point in that cave, she will beg Hades not to let her die, since he's the only god she cares for. And she'll learn in that moment that there is excessive pain in worshiping the god of death.
Christian battle, who sleeps every night on iron strand, traversing mountains and secluded on cruelty, neither the deathless gods, nor any man who lives but one day ever hope to escape.
You lead the minds of the just astray towards disgraceful insult. The one to have ignited this strife of mankind is you. Yet desire wins out. Desire shining from the brow of a brilliant bride. Desire sitting in the office of the great divine law. For as this battle waged, a god jests from afar, Aphrodite. Yet now seeing these things, I am forced to transgress justice, no longer able to restrain the river of tears when I see Antigone proceeding to her final place of rest.
Look at me, O citizens of my colony, as I set off upon my last journey, as I gaze upon my last sunlight and never again. But Hades, who puts all to sleep, leads me still living to Acheron's shore, without the bridal song which I was due. No song shall be sung for me at my wedding, but instead I shall wed Acheron.
So the corpse-filled depths, neither lashed by flesh-wasting plague, nor chancing upon death by sword, rather living alone and self-determined, you attain for yourself the death of mortals.
I have heard how our Phrygian guest Niobe, the daughter of Tantalus, died a miserable death near lofty Mancipolis. The growth of rock, like clinging ivy, subdued her. Now, as the story goes, miles away. Rain and snow never leave her, but with tears streaming down her face, she dampens the ridges of the mountain. I am most like her as the god leads me to my sleep.
That she was not only God-born, but a goddess herself. While we are but mortals born from mortals, still, it is great for one in the throes of death to know that she has obtained the luck of a god in life and in death.
Oh, now you're mocking me. Why, by my father's gods, do you insult me to my face and not wait until I've gone, my city, and you, her wealthiest citizens? Ah, springs of Dursey and groves of Thebes of many chariots, you at least I can count on to witness how I go, unwept by my loved ones, to my rock-heaped prison, to my unknown tomb. Ah, unhappy one, I neither live among mortals nor shades, neither with the living nor the dead.
A high throne of decay,